the ever-changing weather around the world, ever-diverse terrain and roads across the world. With Kumho Tyre that has conquered all, there is no road you cannot go. Go with Kumho. Kumho Tyre.
I ain't playing weak, no, I'm playing for keeps. Can't stop me, I'm a legend. I run with the crew that's making the moves. Get out of the way, we coming through. We got this, never stopping, and we won't lose. No, we can't lose. Yeah. Are you ready? Yeah. We are the legends. We are the legends. Yeah. Are you ready? We are the legends. We are the legends.
The Brickyard calleth, the vets answer. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to round 6 of the Kumho Tyres VA Veterans Season 15. This is Split 2 action coming to you from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Tonight we will be running the road course, well, the 2009 road course that is on iRacing at the moment. I am your commentator, Hamish Munro, here, well, the one that you hear every single week here for Split 2. 150 kilometres here tonight, 36 laps around this 3.85 kilometre circuit, 26 degrees, 50% chance of humidity, partly cloudy, 7 kilometres per hour of wind. Hello to everybody watching tonight. If you would like to get into the chat, have a chat with me throughout tonight's broadcast, I'd muchly appreciate it. Great to have you all here. Peter Latham, welcome into the chat, sir. So if you missed the action last time out at Twin Ring, well, what a race it was. Unbelievable scenes, unbelievable action all throughout, which saw Steve Grumley take his 3rd victory in VA Veterans this season. The first time I've seen someone take 3 victories in VA Veterans since I started. I'm still unsure if someone's won 3 races before this season at any point in Split 2, but 150 Ks tonight. 36 laps around this absolute phenomenal race circuit. Just a legend in all of racing is this Indianapolis circuit. You know, this circuit is known as a tire killer. You know, if you recall back to, I believe it was 2006, as Will Munro's in the chat as well. Hello, Will Munro. 2006 Formula 1 US Grand Prix here. Only 6 cars finished that race, because the only cars that made it to the end were the Bridgestone tyre users. All the Michelin users, their tyres exploded because their tyres were not up to scratch for the banked turn at the final corner of the former road layout, which did not have the little section, sort of, you see it there, the final corner, and then the little chicane there. Well, that just used to be a continuation of the bowl. It just used to be the one big final corner. So we'll be going to the left of screen on the track map tonight, which is the, well, correct layout, I suppose you could say. I mean, I suppose MotoGP go the other way. They go to the right of screen. We'll be going to the left here tonight in the supercar. We will be catching the end of the warm-up right now. We're about a minute into it, so we've got about 4 minutes to chat and talk about what happened last time out in the race at Twin Ring. But just quickly, we might just bring up our qualifying results for tonight's race. So Steve Grumley, coming off the back of his third victory last time out, will start on pole tonight, just ahead of Todd Duggan in P2. Scott Weston, making up for his incredible performance last time out, will now start at a P3 here today. Peter Latham will start out of P4. Gary Buckland will start in P5. Glenn Corbett will start this race today in P6, just ahead of Lorne McKee from Type N Esports in P7. Robbie Griffiths will start at a P8 for Fishy Motorsports. P9 will go to Marty Atkins. I had a message from Marty earlier in the week saying that his livery should be fixed tonight. I mentioned that he was running a Logitech G27 after our conversation about the old Logitech wheels, and now runs a G29. So he still runs an old wheel, but not as old as his old one. P10 today will go to Mark Houghton for Type N Esports, just ahead of Damien Cross from Century Motorsports. James Boardman will start at a P12 for Infinity Motorsports tonight, just ahead of Tom Martin in P13 for Quantum Pecky's Performance Racing. Darren Goosey will start at a P14 for Old Mate and Sons, just ahead of Andrew Hoffman from WK&P Simsports. Steve Lanyon will start tonight's race out of P16 for SLS Racing, just ahead of Robert Crow, the newest Infinity driver, currently in his second race for Infinity this weekend. Matt McMillan will start out of P18 for WK&P Simsports, just ahead of Will Munro for Infinity Motorsports in P19. So that's a good effort from them to get 3 cars in the top 20. With Matt Monday just on the edge of the top 20 there and P20 there for Fishy Motorsports, starting just ahead of Craig Healy for Type N Esports GMK Logistics. Ed Cullen will start at a P22 for Shadow Racing, just ahead of Jason Chin in P23 for Fishy Motorsports. Brett Taylor will start today's race out of P24 for Valve Motorsport. Behind him today, Fletcher Christian from Old Mate and Sons. Marty Hansen will start today's race in P26, just ahead of Jeremy Bush, who also starts just ahead of Reg James, last year's Split 3 champion for WK&P Simsports. Just behind him, Braden O'Loughlin from Frog Leap Juiced Racing, and then in behind him in P30, making up the top 30, Mark Peck from Quantum Pecky's Performance Racing. Then we have Jason McCartan in P31, Daniel Sheriff's P32, Mark Dial starting at a P33, Michael Hayes in P34, and then we have our race control with Ricky Hyde starting at a P37, and I don't believe that'll be anyone else on our results screen for qualifying. So we will catch the end of practice, or of the warm-up at the moment. Daniel Sheriff is currently at the top of the timing tower for this warm-up session here tonight. Hello to Andrew Hoffman as well in the chat, saying, "Hey everyone, pedals fixed. Use G29 pedals for Indy." Well, at least you had a backup contingency there for yourself, Andrew. So at least you're able to get there and race. And well, you say now your pedals are fixed. So hopefully you're able to say you're able to run your BJ pedals. Marty Atkins saying, "Hi, all, watching with some friends. Can you say, all right, Renee, let Josh buy a sim setup, please." Chillin Jervis Bay as well saying, "Hey, welcome to everyone watching tonight's broadcast. Great to have you all here as well. Great to have more and more people watching the Split 2 action week in and week out on a Sunday evening. We like to keep it nice and light, but keep it like a proper broadcast style. I love to get the chat involved if no one else is aware. So, Marty, if any of your friends have anything to say to me, well, you can put it into the chat for me, and I'll try and reply or respond to whatever they're saying through your means. So that is the end of the warm-up. So now we only have to wait for all these cars to get gridded up, for everyone to get behind the wheel, to get into the cockpit of their supercar. Mustang versus Commodore. Off the front line, Grumley versus Duggan. These guys are 2 of the top 3 in the championship in terms of where they've been finishing, how their lap times have been. Everyone just wants to try and have a good start here. The Brickyard likes to claim victims, but these guys will be hoping to build a wall of protection around themselves to stay out of the carnage. They want to be a real regular bricklayer out here tonight, working for themselves, unionized with each other, not wanting to crash into each other and cause a ruckus out here at Indy. So we will await everyone to get gridded up so we can get this race started. As mentioned, Steve Grumley on the pole What can he do off the start grid? What can he get done here today? Marty Atkins saying, thanks, mate. It was a good laugh. And then Will Monroe following up saying, can't Renee. Surely, Renee. Just let Josh buy a rig. All right? Just let him buy a sim setup. It's not that. Once he has got it set up how he likes, there's no more money to be spent apart from repairs. All right? So it doesn't cost that much. It just hurts at the start. All right? But the pain is worth it to be able to go racing. All right? It's cheaper than going real car racing. You don't have to buy tyres every time you want to go racing for a start when you go on the sim. So we will await. We see them lined up on the grid, curved around the final corner. So this will not be a straight shot for all of these drivers. But no, I think maybe the guys going around the corner slightly, they're going to get a little bit of a good start here because they're actually going to be able to point the car straight and get a real slingshot down the center of field here off the start line. So it's going to be interesting to see how they go, but we will wait for the engines to rev. We will wait for the revs to rise, for these drivers to be prepared to go racing. I just want to check if Marty Atkins' livery is actually fixed, because you did say it was. Apparently it is on SDK. Yeah, Will Munro making a good point. Think about all the Renee time whilst Josh is on his rig. So let's just check here. No, it's still got... Oh, you know what it might be? I might actually have to update my trading paints, Marty. So if your SDK one is fixed, I reckon this will actually fix it if I update my trading paints. So your livery should be good to go once I've done this. Alright. So some people taking their time to get on the grid, but the revs are rising. We're getting ready to go racing at Indianapolis. Can Grumley get the dream start over Duggan in P2? We are underway at the Brickyard. It was a phenomenal start by the top six. Duggan will be hoping to cover the inside from Western on the outside of the circuit in that Taipan GMK car. Look at Duggan, though, almost looking like having a bit of a cheeky dive down the inside, but Grumley contains the lead of the race. Oh, and a couple of people have had an incident. Reg James, Daniel Sheriffs. All those guys are involved, but I think it might just be a little bit of knocking and nudging throughout turn 1 and 2. These guys look okay at the moment. I think just a couple of spots lost. We might just go back at the front. Look at the battle between the leaders. Duggan putting more and more pressure on Grumley off the start. He knows he cannot let him run away with this. Grumley will be chasing that 4th victory this season. And with only, 4 rounds to go after this one, 5 to go, including this one, he wants to try and win as many as he can and put his name in the history books. They come round towards the final 3 corners. 2 to go on the opening lap of this 150 kilometre 36 lap race. Will Munro saying there's a bit of bum touching going on. There is a little bit, yeah. These guys are just sitting right in tightly together, wanting to sit as close as possible. Bring up the timing tower now so we can track where everyone is. Lorne McKee into the pits, it seems. So an early stop for him in this one. Will it become beneficial for him to start this early? Will it be due to damage? We can only wait and see. So Grumley leads Duggan, leads Weston, leads Latham, leads Atkins, leads Corbett, leads Griffiths, leads Houghton, leads Martin, and then leads Lanyon. That is the top 10 after lap 1. Mark Dial has had an incident apparently going off track, and there's a big incident at turn 3. That is a massive moment. Many cars involved in that one. Dial looks to be going again. Sheriffs is in all kinds of wars here tonight. And the pain does not stop for him at this stage. We'll go back up the front now. Grumley and Duggan. These guys lead the way. Notice no Paul Hayes this week, so he can't really put a championship challenge on Grumley at the moment. The man who was closest to him in the championship prior to this round was Robbie Griffiths. Umano saying, what the dial? I know. What's happened there? But the leaders will come past to start lap 3. Out comes Lorne McKee. So he was in the pits for quite a period there. So I have to wonder maybe if he actually had some damage. Peter Latham saying only had 35 laps of practice after a week off. Well, you've done well to get it up into P4 and stay where you started. Marty Atkins has had an absolutely mega start in this one, up 5 spots. I'll just double check if my liveries are actually finished updating. No, they haven't, so there's still hope, Marty. Although I might just need to update my iRacing liveries as well, so the might just get a little bit ugly if it has to. But we will try and get this fixed. Robbie Griffiths gets up into P6. Glenn Corbett's had a moment. And I can't catch where he is on track. He's off the circuit at turn 5. So had a great start to this race, had a great qualifying session to get up on the grid in P6. Steve Murray in the chat as well. Hello to you, sir. But we go back up to the leaders. We're only 3 laps into this. And there's already carnage ensuing in this one. So we see Grumley and Duggan. Then there's Weston with Latham just in behind. And then following along is Marty Atkins. Might just focus on Marty for a second to see if the livery fixes itself. If it does not, we might just have to do a bit of a paint reload, as mentioned. No, I don't think it's going to. I think what I might have to do is just do that. So unfortunately, we got no liveries at the moment while iRacing reloads the paints. Hopefully that fixes the shenanigans that are happening with your paint, Marty. If not, I'm blaming you. It hasn't, so something's still wrong. I don't know why. We'll head back up to the leaders. I know they're only in a white car at the moment, but it is Grumley in P1, Duggan in P2. Gary Buckland has just been passed by Jason Chin. He's having a mega battle with him at the moment, and he's missing his boot at the second, so it's the battle of the Stangs at the moment. And look at the run. Chin has massive lockup, gives a bit of a bump and run. He's probably going to have to redress the position. I think that's why he's hanging back a little bit. He does redress. Man, that could have been wild. Look at Buckland's car, looking like it's straight out of the wreckers right now. No bonnet, no front end, and no rear, or no boot and rear wing on that car as it stands. Almost looks like he's been playing Dodgem cars nice and early in this one tonight. He is down 17 spots from where he started this race. The biggest mover, of course, is the one to start from the rear of the grid at the moment. It's Ricky Hyde saying that he is 11 positions gained in this race. It's been a great start from him, just maneuvering around all of the carnage throughout, just to try and keep the car on the straight and narrow. He's done well here for Apex Esports League, and he is flying the Apex banner strong and proud right now, just ahead of Braden O'Loughlin from Juiced Frog Leap, or Frog Leap Juiced Racing, I should say. But we'll head back up the front with the leaders, Grumley and Duggan. These guys, right now, they are more tightly contested than a good game of football on a Sunday afternoon. There is no separating them at the moment. But what we await for is the spark of Duggan to go for a move, shoot it up the inside, but we know that he'll be patient. He'll wait. He'll sit behind Grumley all the way up to the final lap and send it down at the final possible moment that he can and claim victory, almost rising from the Phoenix ashes, or rising like a phoenix from the ashes, I should say, to take the victory. So Grumley knows that Duggan is not a poor operator. He is a quality operator in a supercar. He's a former 2-time winner in the Vets, won 2 times last season, yet to take victory in season 15. Well, Grumley, though, well, he's been all about winning. He's won 3 races this season, more than anyone that I have seen. And he's had such an impressive run so far that no one has really been able to challenge him in terms of race wins and total race wins. But, of course, we are only halfway through the season, which means that, you know, there's still 5 to go. Anything can happen. Lorne McKee has had an incident, and he's in the grass mowing some lawn there. He must have seen that the groundskeeper missed a couple of weeds out in the middle of the paddock there. He just run out and trimmed them for them, so that was nice of him, but a shame for his race position. Umano saying Gary's got the compact tang and saying Gary's a little pony. Oh, that's rude, but he is now in the pits getting his stuff fixed. So hopefully it has been fixed. Let's see if the livery's been fixed. It hasn't. So Marty, unless you are just not running the Taipan livery on Trading Paints, I got no idea what to do apart from use the beta one that they have out now. But I've done all I can for right now to fix that. Don't do a bulldog and fall off, Gary. He's in the I mean, he's in the pits at the moment. Getting that car fixed. Might see if there is a tightly contested battle in the field, at least tighter than the battle for this lap. Demon FX Racing saying his pony was out of control lap 1. It appeared so, hence why he was rolling around in the Aussie racing cars version of that Mustang. But he is back out on track now. He's made it out on the lead lap ahead of the leaders. He has got some pace about him on his day. I just don't know how long he's going to be able to keep the gap out to enough to be, out of the blue flag range from the leaders of this race. So we will have to keep an eye on that one and how close, they get, and if he has to actually concede something to them, not hold them up any much. That is the gap between him and P1 and P2. These guys still going strong at the moment. Under 3/10 is the gap. So, these guys, they're just following each other around. And look at the gap they've already got over Weston. It's 3.9 seconds over P3 at the moment. James... Oh, that's got to be the comment of the day. James Bourneman with Lorne McKee, as in a Lorne. That's fantastic from Borsman right there. Oh, that's amazing. You have to pay that one, Lorne, when you watch the broadcast, mate. That is high quality from James. High quality. Oh, the Sunday night banter session is back. He was split too. So Weston at the moment is 3.5 seconds away from P1 and Steve Grumley. 3.15 seconds, just about, or 3.2 seconds now away from P2 and Todd Duggan. Closer battles. Let's have a look here. Oh, Matt Monday and Matt McMillan. The battle of the Matthews at the moment. For P17 in this race. So Matty Monday is already up 3 spots in this race. Ricky Hyde's got another position, so now he is 12 positions up from where he started. Although, actually, surprisingly, one of the big movers as well is Will Munro up 7 positions in this race. So he's had a fantastic start out of P19. And he's got his teammate Robert Crow in behind him. So he's actually managed to gain a spot over his teammate who started ahead of him here. So maybe they'll work together to get past Hoff, and there'll be a bit of an infinity triad to get in, within the top 10. James currently on the cusp of the 10, currently in 10th place. But maybe these guys can all work together to get the first ever Infinity triple top 10 finish. Have to wait and see on that one. Ed Cullen currently up 8 positions in this race from Shadow Racing. Marty Atkins saying, when I re-uploaded it the other night, my teammates could see it, which they couldn't before, so not sure. I don't know. It's a weird one, Marty. It's a really weird one. I have no idea why it's doing this. Again, the only thing I can think of is a Trading Paints issue. I'll try out the beta one. I can't do it next week because I come back from a holiday on the day that I do the broadcast on Sunday. So I can't really trial it next week, but the week after, if the paint hasn't been fixed, I'll trial the one that Bruce uses. So, because I want to get it fixed. We can't have you running around in an Erebus paint. Like, even though those Erebus boys got a 1-2, last time out, big shout out to Michelson, you know who you are. Even though they got a 1-2, you'd want to be running your own team paint, repping your own paint. So the battle at the front, though, at the moment, half a second is now the gap between these top 2 drivers. And we are on lap 9, so we're almost a third of the way through. So, and we're only 12 minutes in. So this one is a true sprint race, if ever there was one, at the point in time that we sit. I believe, from what I was told, you can pit at pretty much any point in this race and you'll make it home on fuel, whether that is truth be told, Hoff saying just dangling in front of Will. Hey, those G29s, I mean, they're long-lasting pedals, which is good, but you are going to be under pressure here from Will and Rob. Possibly a little bit of a tag team move on you at the moment, Hoff. So, you really want to try and put the pressure on James to try and build that gap a little bit. Woman are saying, Marty, give me a shout out next time we are in practice together to see if others can see it. Hoff saying the carrot. And then Woman are saying after lap 6. We're after lap 6, so we're on lap 10. We're already on lap 10. So we are closing in, etching closer and closer. Oh, I get what you're saying, William, saying you can pit after lap 6 and make it home. So if anyone pits from this point, they'll make it home. Guaranteed. So it's only a one stop here tonight, and it's going to be some hard, fast action all throughout this race. So we see Hoffman, he had the pedal problems last time out with his BJ pedals. He's rocking the Logitechs this week, which have lasted longer than his BJs did last time out. So it's good to see the stand-ins have done well for him here. Yeah, I got you. Pit anytime. As mentioned, James Boardman sitting at the back of the top 10. He's had a good start, up 2 spots. At the moment is Boarsman. Apparently he's king of the banter and king of the boars as well. And we have Steve Lanyon, SLS Racing, of course, his teammate leading this race at the moment in P9. Here he is. You see Boardman trying to put the pressure on him at the moment. Goosey as well in P8 right now for Old Mate and Sons. He's currently up 6 positions in this race, so he's done very well. Oh, sorry, I should mention actually, Steve Lanyon's up 7 positions in this race. He's done incredibly well. Robbie Griffiths up 1 spot in P7. Mark Houghton and Marty Atkins both up 4 spots, so don't be fooled by the Erebus paint. Both these boys are Taipan. Is it Taipan, Marty? I think it is Taipan. Your paint's on the screen. Both these boys are Taipan boys, so they will try and work together to keep Robbie behind them as best they can. They'll be trying to build a brick wall here at the Brickyard to keep him behind. Peter Latham, as mentioned, after only 35 laps of practice, is up into P4 for Shadow Racing, so he's having a very strong race, with Scott Weston in P3 just ahead, and then it's a 5.5 second gap up to P1 in Grumley, with Duggan just in behind in P2. So these are, as Reg James has had a moment, he's in the grass here on lap 11, down at the second corner. So there's been a moment. I think was it Jason McCartan who was involved, maybe. They were around about the same place on track before this happened. Unfortunately, I can't get a replay of it. But that is very interesting indeed. We'll have to see what comes of that one there. But the leaders, I mean, look at the gap. These guys are just crossed the line and going to lap 12. And look at Duggan. Oh, is he going for the move? He wasn't quite close enough there. Probably a little bit ambitious, hoping Grumley would get out of the way, but, well, we know Grumley is a committed operator. He will sit there and he will follow his line, and if you're going to crash into him, so be it. He'll have you crash into him, because he is not just going to give up the position so easily. Todd may be trying the old Ayrton Senna tactic of putting the car somewhere where if you're going to turn in, you're going to crash into him. If you don't turn in, you're not going to make the corner. So maybe one of those tactics there, but Todd just not quite close enough to really get the move done into turn 1. Here's a problem, he didn't even know it. Jason Chin has had a moment here, as well as Michael Hayes. Let's just see what's happened to Jason. Oh, he's in the pits now. Michael running around for Scorpion. Oh, it's a Pace Syndicate. Without a bonnet, I believe, at the moment. So he's had some action. I think Jason's come in for his regular stop and might have actually been involved in the incident, I should say. But, wow. The action is coming at us harder and hotter than ever. Woman saying instead of radio check, Marty, you'll be calling for a livery check. I mean, it's true. He will be at this stage, but look at the boys now come into turn 1. Duggan a bit further back this time round, so he's actually lost out a bit here to Grumley ahead. So Grumley's really got the jets on at the moment, trying to build that gap over a second to get out of the tow range. Of course, the tow has a big big advantage here due to the long straights here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Check out Scott Weston's doing just in behind. He's in a heated battle at the moment with Peter Latham for P3. Peter will be hoping to take a podium finish. He's lost out on occasion, but Scott Weston also wants yet another one to his name. But time will tell whether it can occur once again. Let's check out how Marty Atkins and Mark Houghton are doing at the moment in P5 and P6. So there's a little bit of a train forming now with Atkins, Houghton, Griffiths and Goosey from P5 down to P8 at the moment. Lanyon just a little bit further behind, and then he's built out a nice little 2-second gap here to James Boardman, who is increasingly becoming under pressure. Actually, no, he's from Andrew Hoffman, I should say. Andrew's built out a nice little 4.5-second gap back to Will Munro at the moment. So the Logitech pedals are currently outperforming the Huskenvelds of Munro. Munro is under assault here from his teammate Robert Crow in behind a little bit here. Might be a smart tactic maybe just to let Robert past, as Robert on occasion is the faster driver. Of course, did out-qualify Will, but time will tell if he will be a team player at this stage and let him through and work together or not. I do know, though, that he likes to battle. He won't give it up easily, which is commendable in terms of raceability and commendable in terms of trying to, keep it on the straight and narrow and trying to keep clean. So it makes for a good watch when you see him defend positions and stuff like that. But yeah, so Robert just in behind, and then that's Reg James behind, about a lap down or so on the leaders at the moment. And then Ed Cullen, you see him there for Shadow Racing. Notice no Simon Farrington this week either for Shadow Racing, so he's had a week off. And then Tom Martin just in behind him, Quantum Pecky's Performance Racing at the moment. Oh, Hoff, I like my BJs too. It's just, it's funny that not funny, but it's good to see that even with the Logitech pedals, you still got pace, which is good. Imagine what would happen if you had the newest Logitech pedals, but the BJs are good pedals. They're good ones. I enjoy mine. So Tom Martin currently at the moment, P15, Quantum Pecky's Performance Racing, just ahead of Craig Healy from Taipan Esports GMK Logistics. We have Matty Monday still ahead of Matt McMillan at the moment here. And then Brett Taylor, these guys all battling for up till about P15 is the battle at the moment. And then Fletcher Christian makes up the top 20. Got Marty Hansen just in behind for Taipan Esports. Mark Peck, P22, he's made up 8 spots in this race. 8 positions gained in this race for Mark Peck. Ricky Hyde has now gone up to 13 positions gained in this race. Hoff saying, buy me some and I'll compare. No, if I'm buying some, I'm buying some for myself. Find a Logitech event. Surely they'll have some for you to try. Remember, guys, if you are watching tonight and you are enjoying the content, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so you are notified whenever we go racing or go live with a broadcast from the Split 3 replays on Friday nights with the Driver's Kitchen, and then Sunday nights with the Split 2 action here. Of course, Fridays you are given the luxurious voice of John Van Ree, and then Sunday nights you get me here for Split 2. So yeah, be sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, hit the like button as well. It helps us with the algorithm, helps push more Vets videos out there. Mark Houghton has had an incident here. Where is he on track, though? I lost where he was. There he is. He's had an incident, but he's only lost a couple of spots in that. So he's still going strong at the moment. Be interesting to see here. Oh, Robert Crow into the pits now for Infinity Motorsports. So he's the first Infinity driver to jump into the pits. I think my cheat sheet says Robbie Griffiths was involved, so maybe something's occurred there between them two. They were battling hard, but Griffiths is now up into P6. So Marty Atkins is now left on his lonesome. No Taipan backup for the moment. He's got a fishy out an old mate and son's car, hounding from behind as he comes into the pits. Peter Latham continues on, but Scott Weston from Taipan Esports, GMK Logistics into the pits. So, actually, I lied. There are two Taipan cars out there together. It's just one is from the main team, the other one's from the GMK Logistics side. So, Grumley and Duggan, these guys still lead the race at the moment. Weston, Atkins, and Houghton all into the pits. So, this must be the Taipan game plan at the moment because we saw Michael Hayes come in as well earlier. So, Grumley and Duggan and Latham is the current podium positions at the moment, the provisional podium. These guys get to come into the pits. Robbie Griffiths is in P4 at the moment. He's currently 4 seconds behind Peter Latham in P3 right now. Now, the top two have about an 8.25 second gap back to Peter Latham. You see him there, just in the background of the screen. So, these guys are cut above the rest at the moment. There's no pressure from Robbie Griffiths, who's normally putting the pressure down. Remember, he led the championship coming out of Twin Ring Motegi. And there's no Paul Hayes to speak of after last week's shenanigans. So he is he's currently MIA, nowhere to be seen in terms of being here to challenge for the title. A couple of comments I've actually missed here. WK and PTV. Logi Pro pedals are awesome with 5 kg or more than the V3s. Steve Murray saying, and Split 1 didn't get broadcast due to COVID. Bummer, but hope they get better soon. Romano saying, I think I have a moment. Oh, he thinks he has a moment soon. That's just, I'll focus on you for a moment. It is actually a good little battle pack forming at the moment. WKMP saying, Dan has the spicy flu. No Scops broadcast tonight either. And then Stephen Murray saying, yeah, I saw it advertised, but didn't broadcast. That's right. Well, as Will Munro comes into the pits, his teammate, James Boardman, is yet to come in. So he's now up into P6. Goosey and Lanyon are up 11 for Lanyon and 10 for Goosey, but these guys still need to come into the pits. Peter Latham's also come in, so this now promotes Robbie Griffiths up into P3 at the moment. We've got to see, though, where Scott Weston is, because wherever Peter Latham comes out will be, you know, it'll be really vital here, because this is his main rival at the moment for P3 in this race, is Scott Weston and Marty Atkins in behind. Weston crosses the line. I think Latham is still in the pits. No, he's just coming out now. So Latham has lost out to Atkins. Still stays in behind Weston, though. So Weston now takes on the mantra, you could say, a provisional third. Now, of course, Griffiths still needs to pit. Goosey, Lanyon, and Boardman, they all still need to pit. So does Hoffman, although these guys aren't really close enough to make the challenge right now. But, you know, Weston currently is the provisional P3 sitter. He is, as Darren Goosey comes in from P4 and Lanyon comes in from P5. So Weston at the moment is the highest seeded position in P18 of who has pit at this current stage and is currently out on track on a lap. Goosey, Lanyon, and Borsman, James Boardman, and Tom Martin and Craig Healy all into the pits. So Weston will continue on. Grumley, Duggan, and Griffiths, they're still out on track. Same with Monday, same with McMillan, same with Taylor, same with Christian. But these guys not into the pits just yet, but they will need to pit. They can pit from any point after lap 6 and they'll make it home. They get about 30 laps worth of fuel. So they can pit from here and make it home. There's no two-stop strategy at this stage. It's all a one-stop. You stop and then you're just going to get home. Now, with a safety car involved, maybe we get things a little bit spicy. But we need to find out. We need to see what can happen in terms of spiciness, you could say. So, Weston is provisional P3. P11 at the moment. The 10 cars ahead of him have not come into the pits. It was a pit lane travel time of 1 minute and 7 seconds as the leaders are in. So, Grumley and Duggan are into the pits. Steve Murray saying there was a talk about Tyreware and Friday Split 3 broadcast. So probably pitting later will help the ones still out on track. That is extremely correct, Stephen. It's So Robbie Griffiths will take the lead of this race at the moment. So for those who have not raced around Indianapolis or not seen a race around Indianapolis, we mentioned it earlier, this track is a tyre killer, right? This track has got, like, I believe the actual, like, the tarmac in the ground is like a tarmac concrete combination that's actually laid down. So it is actually a tyre killer around here. Now, I mentioned, I believe it was 2006 or 2005 US Grand Prix. Now, the reason the Bridgestone users, the teams that use Bridgestone tyres finished, which there was only 3 teams that used them, 6 cars, the reason they were actually able to last the whole race and make it to the end and actually finish the race was because of Bridgestone's US tyre company, Firestone, who had made tyres for like IndyCar and NASCAR and such to withstand the G-forces of going around the final corner, which is why the Michelin teams were having blowouts of their tyres. That's a little fun fact for you there of why that race only ended with 6 people. That's why. It's because the Michelin didn't have tyres made for a track like this. Bridgestone had already got the technology for it. So that's why they were able to finish, and that's why they were able to finish the race. So this track, normally anyway, kills tyres just because of the G-forces that are put on them and the pressure that are put on them from those bank turns, from the tight hairpins. It is a tyre-hungry track, and tyres in this case are like cookies to the Cookie Monster, you know, on a bad day, we'll say. So, Robbie Griffiths is in. Now, I've just noticed this as well. Todd Duggan has jumped Steve Grumley in the pits. So, what a strategy play has been put there by him. He had a 2-second shorter pit lane travel time than Grumley did. It was a 15.65 second stop. It was an 18.16 second time stop for Grumley. So he has now jumped him to get into the lead of this race, or provisional lead, I should say. McCartan still needs to pit though. So does Bush, and so does Taylor. So Weston is still in provisional P3, as Duggan is now taking provisional P1. And where is Steve? I've just realised, where is Steve Grumley? He's not there. What has happened to him? He's back in the pits. Why is Grumley back in the pits? Or did he lead the race still and just not pit in yet? He's back in the pits. What's happened? I'm so confused right now as to why he's back in. He must have had a moment of some kind to lead to this, but this is pretty much handed, you know, no pressure onto Duggan at this current stage. So that's where Grumley originally entered pit lane. I don't really see what's happened. Maybe he forgot to put fuel in it or something. I'm not sure. Maybe if the chat can let me know what might have happened there as to why he's actually had to come back in. It's interesting though why that's happened. That's weird. It doesn't say that he crashed, so I'm unsure. But regardless, Brett Taylor's just come into the pits. So Jeremy Bush is now the last car on track to come in. He's up 26 spots, but he does need to pit. So the locked-on racing car leads this race, but he is not the provisional leader, as he's 3.4 seconds ahead of the provisional leader in Todd Duggan. And this guy needs to pit. So, you know, Jeremy will likely lose out on the lead whenever he pits, barring a safety car somehow, but even then it wouldn't really do much for him. So we now wait Jeremy to come in and Todd to take the lead back. Well, not the lead back, but take the lead of this race. So we will wait to confirm what the top 10 is after the pit stops, after Bush has come in, of course. You know, let's give him some screen time right now. He's in first place. We'll follow the leader, as they say, a classic schoolyard game of follow the leader. But yeah, if anyone watching has any info on that, on why... Oh, Mark Duggan saying pit lane exit blend line penalty, he believes. That's interesting. How long was the stop? It was a 3.55 pit stop. And a 53-second pit lane travel time. So it must have just been a drive-through. Oh, that's a real shame. That is a real shame, because we could have been on for an absolutely, you know, sounds really cliche, but scrumdiddlyumptious final battle there between Duggan and Grumley. That was a horrible descriptive word for racing, I should say. But we could have been on for an absolutely just mouth-watering battle there between two guys that have really just put the pressure on all season, and to see if Grumley could have actually taken a fourth win. Now, it's not out of the wheelhouse just yet. I mean, of course, there are 13 laps to go. Anything can happen. And we see Duggan already putting the pressure on Bush ahead of him here for the win, or for the lead of this race. Of course, Bush will need to pit. But we have now just kind of lost out, barring a safety car, barring a heap of carnage, a battle for the win all the way to the end. But, of course, anything can happen in vets. You don't want to go anywhere because, you know, straight after this race, if they are available, we will chat to the top 3 finishers in this one, which provisionally it's currently looking like Todd Duggan, Scott Weston and Marty Atkins, but anything can happen and anyone can get onto that podium. Will Munro has had a moment apparently. See if he's back on track. He is now back on track, so that's good for him. He's now back out there firing on all cylinders, we should say. So Jeremy Bush comes into the pit. So now Todd Duggan will take the lead. We'll go into the Parramatta Izuzu, not Parramatta Izuzu, Player 1 Sim Gear cockpit cam with Duggan. And we'll follow him around for a lap. We might just keep this one quiet for the upcoming lap here. And we are back here after sitting on with the lap of the leader of this race, Todd Duggan there, brought to you by Player 1 Sim Gear. Andrew Hoffman saying smooth like butter, Todd. You might have jinxed him a little bit, though, because he had a little bit of a moment through the final couple of corners there, but he is a very smooth operator, as what is Carlos Sainz's favourite song out there, Smooth Operator. He is a smooth operator on this track, and he is doing very well at the moment. He's got a 12-second gap over P2 in Scott Weston, and he's only 11 laps away from taking his first victory this season in Vets for season 15. Now, if I recall correctly, his 2 wins that he took last season happened within the last 5 races as well. So he's actually on song to match what he did last season in terms of when he got his wins. But, you know, I think if he really wants to put a challenge on the championship, he needs to start trying to win races in the first half of the season. You know, really start to put the pressure on and really start to force people's hands so he can claim a split two championship victory. But we will go back to this battle for P2 at the moment, because Marty Atkins and Peter Latham are in the hunt at the moment for a P2 finish, with Scott Weston just in front of them. So this is a tightly contested battle for the final 2 podium spots in this race. It'll be interesting to see if either of these guys can get up there and really put the pressure on. Daniel Sheriffs has had a moment, though. We might just quickly see what's happened. He's gone off track, but he's rolling once again. Reg James not hitting him there, so that's good. That's a nice, safe rejoin. We'll head back up to the battle for P2 in this race. Weston, Atkins, and Latham. Currently, as it stands after the pit stop period, it's Duggan to Weston to Atkins to Latham to Goosey to Griffiths to Lanyon to Houghton to Boardman to Hoffman. That is the top 10. The rest of the 20 is Cross, Buckland, Crow, Cullen, McMillan, Martin, Healy, Brett Taylor, Munro, and Christian. Also notice as well, no second McMillan out there tonight. So the other real challenger that we've had this season, not in the field. So that's two that we're missing, Paul Hayes and Shannon McMillan. So it's very interesting, you know, the things that can come about. Now, I know life gets in the way sometimes of, you know, allowing you to race and really put the challenge on. Also notice as well, Robbie Griffiths P6 at the moment, so this is going to be a good pool of points for him if he can make up some spots. The biggest mover in the top 10 right now, there's two of them. It's Darren Goosey and Steve Lanyon. Both those boys up 9 positions in this race to get into the top 10. So they've done very well. The biggest mover of this race, though, the biggest riser, we will say, getting through all the carnage, all the rubble, all the smolder, is Ricky Hyde. P23 is up 14 positions in this race. No one at this stage in this race has had a better, you know, race from him in terms of getting up there, making those many positions. Lorne McKee has gone back off track. I wonder if, well, his lawnmower is back, and it appears to be, so he's trimming some weeds as he comes back in the pits. So Lorne McKee in full effect, but Duggan here looking to start taking or getting past more and more cars in the field and just making up more and more lapped positions, I guess you could say, just lapping more and more people. But the battle that we're interested in at the moment is the battle for P2. You see Scott Weston there defending the inside, they're moving all the way over to the outside. Can Atkins or Latham put the pressure on him here to take the spot? They've got Goosey and Griffiths closely in behind as well. So these guys, you know, they're kind of sitting in the atrium at the moment, just watching the show, hoping that it will unravel in front of their eyes and they can take some spots. But they might need to put the pressure on the back of Latham as well to really force the moves to happen, force the carnage out there, you know. They've bought their tickets, but they haven't got their snacks just yet. You know, they want to try and take advantage and get those positions up. So, you know, with only with 8 or so laps to go, you know, they really need to get a move on now, because they haven't got long until they can, you know, there's not long until that checkered flag waves. There's not long until they get to the end of this race and be able to put the pressure on. So these guys, they really, really need to just sort their stuff out right now. All right, Weston is doing a phenomenal job. P2, Atkins is doing a great job, but he's having to defend more than attack ahead of him. He's having to defend against Latham in behind for P3, which would be a great finish for him, of course, if he's able to do that. Maybe we can ask him what his troubles are with his livery if he finishes in P3. But Weston's doing a phenomenal job currently, P2. Atkins in P3, Latham P4, Goosey P5, Griffiths P6. This is the battle, though, for P2. There are 5 cars involved for the battle for P2. Duggan is 13 seconds ahead, and without an incident happening, without a safety car coming, he will walk away and take victory. But, you know, some of the minors, the minors are not over and done with yet. The playoffs are not done. You know, we're in the heat of playoff season at the moment if you follow the NBA or the NHL. But the playoffs are not over for these guys. The minors are still happening. You know, even though there's a favourite out in front, who might be the bookie's favourite right now, being 13 seconds ahead, the minors are not over. So anything can happen. But look at Atkins. They start their lap 29, and Atkins will continue to try and put the pressure on. Can he get a move down the inside into turn 1? Just backs out of it at the last moment, so not quite close enough to get the dive done there. Really, really hard to go through turn 1 too wide. Almost impossible as well, it seems. So just holds out a little bit here. He's almost like he's holding out for a hero right now. But he needs to be that hero for himself. They come through the chicane. Full throttle. All the way down to turn 7. Can they get anything done here? Look at Atkins under brakes, so close, but it's ruined his corner entry. He ran wide, but he's kept the spot, holding up Latham a little bit, which puts the pressure on him from Goosey in behind. This has now created a bit of a buffer here between Weston and Atkins for P2. These teammates are not letting up on each other right now. They might be a part of the overarching Taipan Esports family. Weston, though, represents the GMK Logistics side. Atkins represents the original Type N Esports side. The Blacktown Mazda side. So who can get the job done? There's 6 to go. Lap 30. Who can get their name into history? Become immortal. Look at Latham. Is he going for a move down the inside? Again, not quite close enough. Maybe also a bit of a smart play there to defend against the dive from Goosey and behind him himself. But these guys battling hard now. Battling harder than ever to try and claim a podium position here in our short but sharp 150-kilometre race around Indianapolis. Let's have a bit of a geese back through the field. Ricky Hyde is now up 15 positions in this race. He's currently putting the pressure on Matt Monday for P21. And he's got Grumley, who's just trying to do a bit of, you know, rehabilitation at the moment, trying to just get some lost spots back here. He's down 22 spots after that penalty. So he's going to have to try and fight back here, trying to make up some extra positions. Andrew Hoffman, oh, as Mark Houghton goes off the track into the weeds. Doing a bit of lawn mowing there. Nicely done to get back on the track. It was a nice, safe re-entry. He keeps running. So Hoffman is now well in the 10. He's now P9. Putting the pressure on James Baldwin at the moment in P8. These guys have been around each other all day. They're like peanut butter and jelly. You just can't separate them. They're a quality combination in terms of getting positions and having a good battle. Hoffman, though, will try and keep the pressure on James. He looks to go for a lunge down the inside into turn 1. Under brakes. Just can't get Infinity Motorsport driver of the number 7 Commodore. But these guys will continue on. Look at this. Could it be 3 wide into turn 1? No, it's not, but the pressure is currently mounting on Matt Monday. From behind, 4 cars are involved at the moment. New sponsor for Taipan, Jim's Mowing. No, I think Lorne just has to open up his new part of Taipan. He will have Taipan Esports Jim's Mowing franchise. It'll just be him. There'll still be Taipan Esports GMK Logistics and Taipan Esports. But he will be, solely him will be Taipan Esports. As Grumley, massive dive, and he's hit Ricky! Off the inside, a massive moment. An apex, if you will. That could be a real catalyst for the end of this race. What was he doing? Almost impatience. Hoff saying that was heartbreaking for Mark, was a cracker of a battle. But, oh, what a shame that was for Ricky Hyde. Had so many positions gained. Grumley just shoves up the inside. Super impatient of him in that one. We will not get any safety cars, though, from this point in the race. So this race is now guaranteed to have no safety cars. That was a massive dive there from Grumley. And you have to think impatience or just a bit of miscalculation from him. But we'll go back onto the battle. The battle for P2. Weston, though, has stretched the gap. So it's looking more and more like a battle for P3 at the moment. Atkins is under pressure from Latham, Goosey and Griffiths in behind. These guys have actually gained some time on Duggan ahead, though. The gap is now down to about 9.43 seconds from P3 Marty Atkins, about 7.8 seconds from Weston, as I think it's because Duggan's actually having to be manoeuvring his way through the traffic. As I think Ricky Hyde might have just had another moment there. Unsure, though, what that move did damage to him. There is smoke in the background, so I think he might have actually spun it on the exit of turn 1, entry to turn 2. But, man, what a shame for him. We'll go back to the battle. Look at him now. Looking like they're going to go 3 wide, but not quite. Look at Latham down the inside. Big dive. Atkins gives plenty of room. These guys are going to go 2 wide round turn 2. And the battle is on. Atkins just trying to hold on right now. He's in a pool of sharks, getting eaten alive. Latham gets through. Goosey's going for the move as well through the chicane. Has to back out of it. Look at the run that Atkins has now on Latham coming up towards turn 7. The hard braking left-hander. They come round nice and smooth, nice and clean. Can Atkins get back up on the podium, or will Latham etch his name in history? Ulmano saying great job, Peter. Was a great move by him. Heaps of racing room left by both men. It's good to see. Look at Atkins though. Could be going for another move here. Try and reclaim the position. Will it happen? Will Marty be able to get the job done? He's got 3 laps to do it. We're on lap 34. You see Scott Weston. He's got the jets on. He's stretched the gap out. He's got about a 2.5 second gap back to P3. See Marty there just peeking the nose, making Latham think he's going to go for the dive. But he hasn't got many opportunities to get it done again. Let's see what kind of run he gets out of turn 5 and 6 up towards turn 7. He's right up behind the rear bumper of Latham now as they come through the chicane. Will we see a dive down at turn 7? It is one of the tightest corners on the circuit though. Almost impossible to get it done. He just follows him round. Stays nice and close. Jamie McKnight saying have a dip, big Peter Latham. And look at Goosey. He's now got the pressure on Atkins. He's had a better run out of the corner. So Atkins now under pressure from Goosey in behind. And look at Griffiths. He's just sitting behind and loving it right now. They're going to come around the final couple of corners to go. 2 laps to go. Lap 35. Duggan will cross the line. He'll take them to lap 35 out of 36. We have 2 to go right now. What can happen in the final couple of moments? I will mention the current podium is Todd Duggan, Scott Weston, Peter Latham. If they are all available, please hop into the green room. We'll have a chat to you after the race. Marty Hansen and Matt Monday have had a moment. Oh, and Hansen on the lawn. So he must be joining Lorne McKee in that Taipan Esports Jim's Mowing franchise outlet that they'll be having. But Duggan leads the race. He still leads it. Ahead of Weston, ahead of Latham. And this is the battle for P3. 4 cars are in it. 4 does not fit into 3. So they'll have to see which one is the one to rise above the rest and take this final podium spot to taste the simulated champagne of V8 veterans. Woman saying Jim's all the way for Taipan. Yeah, no more Blacktown Mazda, just Jim's Mowing. Just have your green cars, that's it. So they will come on now. White flag, final lap of this race, lap 36. Duggan leads Weston, leads Latham, leads Atkins, leads Goosey, leads Griffiths, leads Boardman, leads Lanyon, leads Hoffman, and leads Houghton. That is the top 10 on this final lap of the race. Look at Goosey. He was thinking about a move. He needs to remember, though, this is the final lap. If he's going to get a move done, it needs to be done on this time round. They're approaching Steve Grumley. You would think this would normally be for position, but it's not after the penalty that he got. He has to let them by. And there goes his championship rival as well, Robbie Griffiths. Can Atkins get it done at turn 7? He's got a massive run on Latham. He looks to put it up the inside, but will he back out of it? No, he won't. Yes, he will. He just can't get it done. He's only got one real opportunity to get this done now. He has to dive off the exit of the bowl into the final 3 corners. He doesn't appear to be close enough, though. We're going to have to go with Todd Duggan, and Duggan's gone off! Duggan is off into the weeds. Where is Scott Weston? Oh, it's not going to matter. He's not close enough. Todd Duggan, by the hair on my chinny chin chin, takes victory out at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Oh, that would have been a real scare for him. Scott Weston takes P2. Peter Latham withstands to take P3 ahead of Atkins, Goosey, Griffiths. I don't think Boardman's crossed the line yet. Boardman, Hoffman, Lanyon, and Houghton make up the top 10. Wow, what an end to that one that was. That would have been real hair on the back of your neck moment there for Duggan. I mean, if that was another 10 laps or even another 5. Wow, Mark Duggan saying, "Great drive, brother." What was that finish? Oh, he wanted to put on a show, I suppose, for the fans. Suppose he wanted to spice it up a little bit. We haven't got Peter Latham in the green room, so we'll quickly run through the results of this race. And we will see what has occurred. So, taking out victory here today for Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Road 6 of the Kumho Tyres. Split 2 round here for Season 15 of the V8 Veterans. Todd Duggan takes victory for Nova Simsports, just ahead of Scott Weston in P2 from Taipan Esports GMK Logistics. P3 today goes out to Peter Latham from Shadow Racing. That was an incredible performance by him and finally gets that podium. Marty Atkins finishes out a P4. Unfortunate there for the Taipan Esports driver. Hopefully we can get that livery sorted out in the future round for him. Darren Goosey finishes in P5 with Robbie Griffiths there at a P6 for Fishy Motorsports. James Bourban gets into the top 10. Number 7 finishes in P7 for Infinity Motorsport. Andrew Hoffman just in behind him there for WKMP Simsports. Finishes in P8. Steve Lanyon will finish out for SLS Racing there in P9 with Mark Houghton for Taipan Esports in P10. Matt McMillan gets all the way up, finishes in P11 there from WKMP Simsports with Robert Crow finishing out a P12 for Infinity. P13 goes to Ed Cullen from Shadow Racing with Brett Taylor behind him for Valve Motorsport in P14. Craig Healy there will finish in P15 for Taipan Esports GMK Logistics with Todd Martin from Quantum Pecky's Performance Racing in P16. Fletcher Christian will finish today's race out of P17 just ahead of Will Munro for Infinity Motorsport. P19 today goes to Matt Monday from Fishy Motorsports with Mark Peck from Quantum Pecky's Performance Racing out of P20. Jeremy Bush will finish in P21 just ahead of Marty Hansen with Braden O'Loughlin from Frog Leap Juice Racing out of P23. Mark Dyer will finish today's race out of P24 with Reg James in P25 just ahead of Jason McCartan in P26. P27 today goes to Damien Cross from Century Motorsports just ahead of Glenn Corbett in P28 for Hypersonic Racing. P29 goes to Gary Buckland from Old Mate and Sons, just ahead of Daniel Sheriffs out of P30. P31 goes to Michael Hayes. Steve Grumley, unfortunately for him, from a penalty, finishes all the way down in P32, just ahead of Lorne McKee in P33, Ricky Hyde in P34, and Jason Chin in P35. Big thank you to Greg Favell and Bruce McLeod for being the race controllers for this one. We have got Peter Latham in the green room, so we'll bring him in. Peter Latham, a massive congratulations to you, sir, on your podium finish. A massive P3 for you there out there today. How did that one feel for you, mate?
Yeah, it was a great drive. I really enjoyed the guys I was racing with, especially Marty, going side by side. You don't often get that. That was awesome. Yeah, I had a great time.
When we saw the dive down at turn 1, it's not really a space you normally go for the move and go too wide. Was it kind of just like, we're pretty close to the end here, I've kind of got to get the move done, and you just went for it, or was it a calculated move in the end?
Yeah, well, I tried. I went out there to have a look down a couple of times, and I thought that's going to be my only place I could go. And Marty made a little mistake coming onto this straight, so I thought it's got to happen this time, otherwise it's not going to happen at all. So I just went for it and hoped for the best. And Marty certainly accommodated by giving me room, and yeah, it worked out well. Both of us finished the race, so it was good.
Mate, I mean, you had a massive race in that one. I mean, you started at a P4, ended up finishing P3. I mean, we saw last time when you were going to finish on the podium, I believe it was out at Phillip Island, if I'm correct, and Robbie Griffiths just took the podium away for you right at the end. I mean, you finally get it. How does it feel to be up here on the podium, take out P3 today? Do you hope maybe to do a bit better next time out, maybe finish in P2?
Well, that's always the hope, and I certainly strive for that. But yeah, sometimes the chips don't fall your way, and yeah, you just got to do your best the next one. But yeah, I'd definitely like to finish 1, 2 next time. But yeah, I've just try and drive the best I can, not take anyone out, and have a great drive. And fun is what it's all about for me. So I really enjoyed tonight.
So we've got Sandown coming up next weekend, or next Thursday night. How are you travelling so far for Sandown? Are you feeling comfortable? Are you feeling confident?
Well, true to my name, I haven't done a lap there yet. So yeah, I'll probably Monday night, maybe Tuesday night, jump on and do a bit.
Very good,
But
mate.
yeah,
Very
yeah,
good.
so it's good.
Oh, we have Todd Duggan
Yeah,
in the green room as well. So I'll let you quickly
awesome.
thank anyone you want to thank, whether it's your sponsors or anyone else you want to give a shout out to, and then I'll drag Todd in and I'll have a chat to him as
All
well.
right. Yeah, I'd like to thank the series sponsors and my sponsor from Racecraft, and also like to thank my teammates, and like to mention Eddie got a new steering wheel set up for this. This is his first race, and certainly paid benefits. He finished 13th, so well done to him as well.
Oh, mate, a big
And well done, Todd.
Very good. A massive congratulations to you and to Shadow Racing for your P3 out there today. Thank you for joining me in the booth tonight, and yeah, hopefully next time out at Sandown you can clinch that P2.
Yeah, cheers.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers. Thanks, Hamish.
Todd Duggan, a massive congratulations to you, sir. I mean, it was almost a perfect race up until the dying embers there at that last little moment. I mean, did you just see a little weed off the side of the track? You thought, oh, I'll give that a bit of a trim actually while I'm here. What happened coming into that final corner?
Nah, I just got very excited, I guess. Yeah, a little hiccup. Yeah, during the race it was pretty good. I sort of didn't realise what happened to Brumley there, but he told me he sort of stuffed up his pit stop on exit. Yeah, but I think it was about 5 laps left to go. My computer actually froze, and I thought I was gone, but luckily it came back, so kind of got me head a bit, and I was sort of making a few mistakes towards the end, but still had enough lead, I guess, to keep Scotty at bay, and managed to crawl over the line, so to speak.
We've had a couple of comments in the chat tonight about people getting Jim's Mowing as a sponsor. My cheeky father has brought it up this time regarding you. Are you also trying to get Jim's Mowing on board for Nova?
Yeah, I've talked to my brother about that, and I might have to put it on mine at least anyway. So. But,
Oh.
no, it was good racing. Like, yeah, we've had a bit of drama with guys not obeying blue flags, but this race was pretty clean. So yeah, I'd like to thank all them. I was, who was it? I forgot his name now. But no, he had a lot of pace. It'll come to me. But
Steve Grumley?
no, not Steve. It was damn. Corbett.
Okay, yeah, Glenn. Unfortunate off the start there.
Yeah, but he had a lot of pace during practice and whatnot, and yeah, he kind of didn't get it right. Yeah, he said his computer crashed. Oh, you had that at Winton last season, so it sort of gets in your head and just mucks you up, and yeah, you just make a ton of mistakes at the beginning. It sort of ruins your race. So I feel for him because he's been coming on strong.
I mean, I mentioned in the broadcast that last season you didn't take your first win until the last half of the season. It's happened again this season. I mean, is it like you get halfway through the season and like, oh, now I really just got to try and push for that first win, or is it just the cards you dealt sometimes and how it's laid out for you?
Yeah, I think it's just how the cards are dealt. I think I've had the speed. I think the first, I think the first track was pretty hard to pass, so rather than wreck my race or Grumley's when I think he ended up winning, Yeah, I just tried to force me into a mistake, but it didn't happen. And then, yeah, just sort of, got the strategy wrong in 1 or 2 races and, trying to get through the field, you end up getting caught up in someone else's drama. So, yeah, you just, take it race by race. But I think I've got the pace and driving a lot better than I ever have. So I'm quietly confident within myself. I just got to, take the breaks when they come and trying to avoid the bad luck, so to speak.
Oh, mate, it's been fantastic having you in. Great to have a chat to you as well. Big congratulations on your first win this season and your third win in the Veterans. If there's anyone you want to give, a shout out to, let us know who's supporting you. Now's your time to do so, mate.
Yeah, no, I got to thank you, homie, straight up. Love your work. It's great to have a broadcast to, sit back and sort of stroke your ego for a win, watch it on telly. But yeah, thanks to all the admin, race control. Without them, we've got nothing. To all the blokes, we race with, they're a great bunch. We get along well. We do have our moments, but it's done and dusted, and then we just move on. I also like to thank my brother, my teammates, Nova Simsport. Yeah, that's pretty much it, really. So, yeah, congrats and see you on the next one.
Very good, mate. Well, another big congratulations to you. Good luck for Sandown this coming week, and well, who knows? Maybe we'll be chatting again about another race win for you.
Oh, fingers crossed, Armies. Thanks, mate. And yeah, look forward to chatting with you again soon.
No worries, mate. Thank you.
All right, catch ya.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that brings an end to our broadcast for tonight. A shame, though, that we couldn't speak to Scott Weston after an incredible P2 finish for him there. But great to talk to both Peter and to Todd out of P3 and P1, respectively, today. As mentioned, next time out, we go racing will be Sandown. And you can catch it, well, live broadcast, but on the replay file, next Sunday night, 8:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Our usual time slot here for the Veterans. I hope you've all enjoyed tonight's broadcast here around Indianapolis. I'm excited for next time out at Sandown. It's my local track, and I look forward to seeing all the Veterans action. Brought to you by Kumho Tyres. A massive shout out to the series sponsors as well. Parramatta Izuzu Ute, Logitech, Player One Sim Gear, Racecraft, Nova Simsports, and the title sponsor, Kumho Tyres. Thank you all for watching tonight's VA Veterans broadcast here for Split 2. Here on the VA Veterans channel. Really appreciate your time. Really appreciate everyone who got into the chat. We'll catch you next time for Sandown.